What up, fam? Pardon me. Anyways, putting up my review tonight of the Chris Benoit video that, as we all know, the Insane Clown Posse dropped several days ago. I have been running around like a chicken with my head cut off, visiting my brother as often as I can, working and spending time with a beautiful woman. So, I waited until tonight when I had some free time to go ahead and make this video. Now, I also wanted to wait a little while and get some other reactions from other juggalos and other people in general. But what really sparked me to go ahead and sit down and do this video is this fucking moron that Lucas, Real Guido, pointed out in his last video about the whole ICP's Chris Benoit video is sickening and blah 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 blah. Now, this guy, he's got a pretty good following on YouTube, and most of his stuff is, you know, when he hates on ICP, he gets big hits. But the fact is that he's a hater. So, you know, he talks shit. And I think the funny part of this is if you watch the whole video, I couldn't find it, but I watched what I could on Real Guido's video. And what I found amusing is that the guy was speaking completely out of nonsensical fucking, you know, didn't pay attention to the video, didn't listen to the lyrics, didn't pay attention to the actual video itself. With that being said, I want to more review the video itself and the symbolism of some of the things you see, and kind of really talk about, you know, what it struck me as, what it meant. You have a lot of old school juggalos that don't like Bang Pow Boom, that don't think they're gonna like Mighty Death Pop, and it's all because it just doesn't sound like the old school. It doesn't have that same flavor that the the original Joker's cards had, and I can respect that. I understand that, but at the same time, these are the same juggalos. You have two brands of old school juggalo, and CBN even kind of touched base on this with this whole, you know, juggalos versus family kids. You have two brands. You have juggalos who were all about serial killing, murdering, you know, gruesome fucking horrorcore. It's all about the scary side of Insane Clown Posse. And then you've got the other set of juggalos who I guess CPN would call family kids. They got the underlying messages. They understood the positives. They listened to the good things, and the positive things, and the things that you know, by the end of the race Shangri-La, you know, you listen to track 17, and it was either A, you were shocked, oh my God, or you understood, because you knew that all along. You know, you got it. You got that there was positivity. You got that there was a message. You got that there was things intertwined in between and underneath, and some of them are right out in the open. With that being said, this Chris Benoit video, you have to look at it from that old school, reading between the lines, looking in between, seeing the messages. And this video is very much an old school type video, you know. It really is. It really is. And it's because the message of the song, everybody's like, you know, it's such a disrespect. Why would they use him to do this? Why would they use his name? Why would they do this? And the fact is that the album we already know, named The Mighty Death Pop, is about that moment in life where you could be gone, you could be dead. With Chris Benoit, the song itself, if you listen to the words, it talks about just going off the deep end, losing your mind. But the one recurring phrase you keep hearing over and over again in the song is a catastrophic demise. And that's the important part of that song, is that catastrophic demise that some people have. You're okay, life's great, everything's fine. And when they say catastrophic, what they're talking about is this absolute complete change. I mean, and not in a good way. Catastrophe means a complete disaster, a complete falling apart. And that's the underlying message in the song, is that catastrophic demise that happened to Chris Benoit. He lived this wonderful life where he was doing what he always dreamed of doing, and he had a beautiful wife and a son and a wonderful house and all these things. But his life is what caused him to completely lose his mind. All the bumps, all the concussions, all the brain damage that was done by this life that made him who he was. And that in and of itself is, I think, what a lot of people tend to miss about this song, is that they're talking about that catastrophic failure to realize something is wrong, and do I like the beat of the song? Do I like the way it's put together? Somewhat. It reminds me of some of the old Funhouse stuff that Mike and Clark used to do. It's not a catchy beat, but that underlying a catastrophic demise ties it all together. It keeps bringing it back around, and you keep hearing that, and that's the reason that's in there so many times, is because that's the important part of it, is that catastrophic demise that happened in Chris Benoit's mind to push him so far that he killed his own wife, his child that he adored and loved with all of his heart, and then, according to reports, didn't kill himself for almost 2 days. So now you've got this man who was a good person, who was a great father, who was a great husband. Not only did he lose his mind enough to kill his wife and child, he lost it enough to sit in that house for 2 days with them already gone. Now, is that provable? No, but that's what they think happened, is that 2 days passed. And it goes into what does that? Here's this wonderful life you have, but if you're doing things that are putting your life in jeopardy, there's going to be a point where your life is going to fall apart. And if you don't stop that, if you don't take care of that, then you're going to lose everything. And in this case, even your own life. And others around you are going to get hurt too. The symbolism I liked in the video was the chess, the pieces of chess, the going back and forth, and the characters that were like chess pieces. And I love the symbolism of that life is this constant struggle, this constant game of chess, this constant game of moving back and forth and trying to win in the end. And the one I didn't really understand, and some people tell me it's got a lot to do with and I didn't really look into it or anything, but the Rubik's Cube, the black and white squares, and had a lot to do with Masonic images and Illuminati, and who knows, maybe that was intentional, maybe it was just something, they thought it was neat. Because let's be honest, sometimes that's just how ICP is. They just put something because they think it's cool. But I loved it. I loved the video. I love the way the video was done. The song itself, I think I'm going to like some of the other songs better. But it wasn't bad. It definitely was not a bad song. I'm curious to hear the remix with Ice Cube, because I want to hear a more musical version of the song. As you notice, there wasn't a lot to the beat and the rhythm and everything. It was more about the words. And I don't know, take the time to really sit and listen to the lyrics and really understand what it is they're talking about. Like I said, the Mighty Death Pop is about death. It's about that instant where from life to death you're gone. And I think this song is about, and I guess maybe we'll see, maybe there's just different forms of that on the album, but I think this song represents that moment, maybe not so much the death, but that turning moment, that pop, when you go from things are okay to things are not okay. You're living a life and making a living and doing all these things, and then somewhere in your mind something snaps. And that's why this song, that's the biggest thing about this, is that people are, why would you use Chris Benoit? Why would you use Chris Benoit? Because he is the most infamous, he is the most well-known person that this epic, catastrophic breakdown of the human mind happened. And that's why the song is called Chris Benoit. ICP are wrestling fans. Most juggalos, a lot of juggalos are wrestling fans. Some of us aren't, some of us are. But the fact is that the important part of the song is represented by what happened to Chris Benoit. And I feel, I'm not them, so I can't call that. But I feel like maybe that's why it was called what it was called. Was because it was the most pressing way to get that point across. So that's my 2 cents on the subject. If you like it, if you don't, I'm gonna try and find this guy's fucking criticism of it, just so you guys can see how idiotic he is. Because I was like, you gotta be kidding me! This guy's a fucking tool. And you could tell he didn't even listen to the video. All it was about was how ICP was using Chris Benoit's death to their advantage, but yeah. If I can't find a link, go to Rogue Guido's channel. You might be able to, or his latest video, and you might be able to find it there. I know he has screenshots of the video itself. So, peace, much family love.